My name is Melissa McBurney, and I'm co-founder of Marble Retreat. I had a Sunday school teacher. Her name was Mrs. Curtis when I was a kid. And she told me, God has a plan for your life. And it's much better than anything you can come up with. And it turns out she was right. We didn't know whether we should do Marble Retreat or not. And so Lewis decided to put out a fleece. He said to God, if this is what you want us to do, and this is where you want us to do it, make those 3 lots available. I don't know if I could do this, but the next week we got a letter from the people here saying, if you're still interested, those 3 lots are now available. It was such a clear answer to that prayer, and that became our Ebenezer. When we came up against all kinds of obstacles in the next 3 years, well, he brought us here. We know we're supposed to be here, and so he'll take care of whatever this is. There was no way we could say, look what we did, because we knew he had done it. So looking back, it's not just 50 years. It started a way long time before that to prepare the way for Marble Retreat.
I'm Mike McKenzie. I'm the clinical director at Marble Retreat.
And I'm Carrie McKenzie. I'm the executive director here at Marble Retreat. God, on a spiritual retreat I was doing for a week, and he just had impressed on my heart, I'm going to send you to bind up the brokenhearted. And
we get here and it's like, this is it. It has all the pieces. It has the natural beauty. It's got the great hospitality. It has a great counseling program. It has rest. It has recreation. It has community. It has authenticity. So I think for us, it was a kind of a confirmation of the calling. Like, I've been preparing you to work in this area of ministry, and here it is.
And we would see miracles happen here. We'd see healing and life transformation. And it just felt like you were on holy ground whenever you'd see God work in these ways. And that's what happens here time and time again. Pastors, Christian leaders who have been isolated in their ministries find community here.
We had been in 3 back-to-back church settings that had been extremely difficult. That led us to a place where we were pretty burned out and exhausted and at the end of our rope. Let me just say it that way.
I was out of a job and we were just barely, money was so tight.
When I first called Marble Retreat, everyone I talked to was so gracious and so kind that they were going to come alongside and be able to help us with some of the cost. And that to me was absolutely just life-giving, because I didn't know how we were going to do it. You're going through so much and you're so heavy-hearted that just one more heavy concern was just like too much. And so when I heard her say, we're going to be able to help you with a scholarship, it just lightened the load considerably.
We had downtime. We were hosted incredibly well. It's beautiful. You have a couple days off for these excursions and going to church on Sunday or whatever you wanted to do. It just was like the perfect setting for the healing that took place for us. We could not say enough about how great it was.
When people call seeking help, I'm the first one that they talk to. A new generation of Christian leaders are finding Marble Retreat and coming to Marble Retreat because of the transformation and restoration that previous generations of Christian leaders have found here. So to watch that over all of these years, to watch his faithfulness of meeting people there at their deepest needs and transforming lives has just been such a privilege.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Mindy.
And we're therapists at Marble Retreat. For pastors and or their spouses, about 80% of them don't have a single friend that they feel like they could be honest with. The McBurney's vision was that if you could get pastors together in a room and it was safe, the Lord would meet them. And we watch him do that. The first day, everyone finds a safe place to show all your cracks and to take off all the masks. And once that happens, and there's this place of sincerity without wax love in the room, everyone's just letting all their cracks be seen, something holy happens.
So my mess, if God can continue to use it, I will rejoice. That's weaknesses, and that these are choices I made as a deep follower of Christ that I'm so sad about. But then it gives other people in the room the ability to go, I did that too. Please, do you have love for me? It's like we're all saying, if I bring my worst, will you still stay turned toward me? And that's what we get to do in here.
Leaders. Some, if you just knew their first name, you would know them. They're famous. And some that are pastoring in the most desolate, poor situation, coming from all over the world. In any given year, there's probably 20, 30 nations represented that flow through here. So 5,000 of those leaders have flowed through this room. It's just a holy place. It's a sacred place that God set aside so he could meet with his precious shepherds.
We not only work with pastors and ministers, but we also work with missionaries. We literally get the entire world coming through the retreat. Well, it's funny because Lisa, we think of her as the highest educated laundry lady in the world because she's got a PhD, and it's interesting how God has put her in that role. What we do is exponential. Because if you can help a pastor, you can help an entire congregation, an entire community. And so it's fun to have that opportunity to serve folks that don't normally get to be served. They're the ones always serving others.
In the midst of this pain, we made our way to Marble and just fell in love with everything about it.
Oh, well, I don't know what to say, and that's going to be awkward, and now it's awkward in front of a whole group. Carrie and Mike just made it so comfortable and so easy. We learned so much from the other couples we were with, how God worked in their stories, and it was incredibly life-giving and helpful, the group and also the individual counseling.
Marble Retreat offers 8 days of purposefully designed intensive counseling. Some people have described that intensive model like a crucible. The time spent continuing to circle around that main issue that brought them here. Over time, the gold kind of comes to the surface that really creates the life transformation and healing in that crucible over the 8 days.
There are a lot of Christian leaders, a lot of pastors and missionaries, have come here thinking it's the end of their ministry. But God is a redemptive God, and we have seen God restore Christian leaders and be faithful to them down the road when they thought it was done. And not only did God continue to use them, he actually took their darkest time and has used that to further empower their current ministry.
If that's you, if you have gotten disillusioned with ministry, burned out, exhausted, and feel like you don't know if you can keep going another day in ministry, we understand your pain, we understand that burden, and we're here to help you carry that burden, to lift that burden.
So we just encourage you to reach out to us. Don't let finances or other obstacles get in the way.
At the end of every group, the last day, and everybody's leaving after lunch, Lewis would get everybody up and we'd hold hands and pray. And he would pray for each person. What came to my mind was standing in that group and becoming aware of the power that was in that circle. Those people were going to go back home and they were going to be more effective. And many, many lives were going to be touched because of their being here and what God had done to them. Those kinds of experiences, I wouldn't trade anything for them.